The insane true story of Aniello Dellacroce. The untold story of a Mafia legend, Aniello Dellacroce. You won't believe the remarkable twists and turns that formed his rise in the famed Gambino family. From his mentorship of the renowned Teflon Don John Gotti to the bombshell events that rocked the entire Mafia world. This is the insane true story you've been waiting for. What secrets did Dellacroce keep that Gotti admired? How did he keep a delicate balance within the Mafia while facing death? Join us as we uncover the intriguing legacy of Aniello Dellacroce, a guy who elevated the Mafia to unprecedented heights. Born in 1914 to Italian immigrants in New York's Little Italy, Dellacroce got involved in petty crime from a young age. It was quite common for first-generation Italian Americans to get drawn into the Mafia during those times, and Dellacroce was no exception. He got familiar with everything of coordinated wrongdoing under the tutelage of Albert Anastasia. Following Anastasia, Dellacroce joined the Vincent Mangano crime family, which later evolved into the notorious Gambino family. Dellacroce quickly earned a reputation as a clever and ruthless gangster. He had some interesting ways of avoiding attention from the law, like dressing up as a priest and going by the alias Father O'Neill. Can you believe he would cheerfully greet policemen on their beats and even taunt them? There was this incident where he caught two officers filming him, and he reportedly made them eat the tape at gunpoint. His notoriety extended to the way he executed his enemies with a chilling gaze. Individuals portrayed him as a dull, holy messenger, looking into his casualties' countenances right now of their death. His eyes were something else. No color, like a transparent soul, some said. I've heard reports from federal prosecutors, reporters, and mob investigators who all agree that Dellacroce was one of the most fearsome individuals they've ever encountered. In 1957, Dellacroce's mentor, Albert Anastasia, was tragically murdered by gunmen while getting a haircut in a barbershop. Some say that Carlo Gambino, another influential mafioso, may have organized the hit as he had ambitions of becoming the next godfather of the family. Despite his loyalty to Anastasia and the swirling rumors surrounding his death, Dellacroce firmly believed in putting the family's interests above all else. When Gambino assumed control of the family, Dellacroce pledged his allegiance to him without hesitation. For decades, Dellacroce served as the underboss to the new Gambino family. Life in the Mafia treated him well, as he engaged in illegal gambling and racketeering, raking in a substantial income. As the underboss, he showed his cunning by selecting carbon copies to deceive the police, permitting him to work circumspectly in the shadows, a long way from according to policing. As time elapsed, Gambino's well-being started to decline, and he needed to consider who might succeed him as the top of the family. Many of the family's associates believed Dellacroce was the rightful heir, given his loyalty and experience. However, Gambino surprised everyone by nominating his brother-in-law, Paul Castellano, for the position. True to his unwavering loyalty, Dellacroce accepted Gambino's decision, even though it meant he wouldn't be the one to lead the family. After Gambino's passing, Aniello Dellacroce found himself in the position of seeking a successor. He had a few candidates in mind, but one young man stood out from the rest: John Gotti. Gotti had been associated with the Gambino family for quite some time, and Dellacroce saw great potential in him. Dellacroce took Gotti under his wing and shared stories of the old Mafia days under Anastasia, captivating the young man with tales of honor, loyalty, and power. Inspired by these stories, Gotti decided to officially join Dellacroce's crew as a capo shortly after being released from prison for hijacking. Gotti wasted no time in proving his worth within the Gambino family. He quickly earned a reputation for being a successful and ruthless enforcer, carrying out hits and engaging in profitable criminal schemes. With each successful venture, Gotti's status within the family rose, and he became a rising star in the underworld. When Paul Castellano assumed leadership of the Gambino family, he acknowledged Aniello Dellacroce's contributions by granting him control over a significant number of the family's crews. However, this move unintentionally created a rival faction within the family, comprising those most loyal to Dellacroce. So, in essence, there were now two power centers within the Gambino organization, with Dellacroce leading one and Castellano at the helm of the other. During this time, John Gotti rose swiftly through the ranks and became the second in command in the Dellacroce faction. However, tensions between Gotti and Dellacroce began to escalate, and the dynamics within the family grew more complicated and strained. It was clear that a power struggle was brewing, and the clash between loyalty and ambition became more apparent as the story unfolded. The situation within the Gambino family was becoming increasingly tense. Paul Castellano had strictly forbidden any involvement in drug trafficking, but John Gotti, who had risen to a prominent position within the Dellacroce faction, was heavily involved in the drug trade. Gotti's troubles escalated when one of his associates was arrested for dealing heroin. Castellano immediately suspected Gotti and his close friend Angelo Ruggiero of being involved as well. Dellacroce, who had previously warned his crew against dealing drugs and even threatened to kill anyone involved, found himself in a difficult position. Despite his loyalty to Castellano, Dellacroce went to great lengths to protect Gotti and Ruggiero from his wrath. When tapes from prosecutors surfaced revealing Ruggiero's insults directed at Castellano, Dellacroce deliberately withheld the tapes, knowing that their contents could lead to Ruggiero's death at Castellano's hands. Deep down, Dellacroce shared some of Ruggiero's feelings of animosity towards Castellano, and he genuinely did not want to resort to violence and kill his own men. However, he was also mindful of the potential for a destructive war within the family if things escalated further. Through his mediation and delicate handling of the situation, Dellacroce managed to prevent the Gambino family from descending into a full-blown civil war and kept Castellano from executing his own crew members. The situation within the Gambino family was becoming increasingly precarious due to the tapes that surfaced. Dellacroce, despite his earlier reluctance to hand over the tapes incriminating Ruggiero, expressed to him that he had been trying to support him from the beginning. He also hinted at the possibility of going to war if things escalated further. For Gotti, the tapes had even more severe consequences. He was caught on tape insulting Dellacroce for some of his decisions, which he later regretted deeply. This incident revealed that, despite the gossip and disagreements, Gotti held genuine respect for Dellacroce. On the other hand, Dellacroce recognized Gotti's potential and consistently advocated for him to take over control of his crews in the future. However, Castellano, the family's official boss, was not enthusiastic about Gotti's rise to power for obvious reasons. Amidst this turmoil, Dellacroce's health started to deteriorate, and he was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. Despite the ongoing tensions within the family, his death in 1985 had a profound impact. When Aniello Dellacroce was gone, the delicate balance that had kept violence in check within the Gambino family was shattered. The void left by Dellacroce's passing created a power struggle and unleashed a series of events that would forever change the course of the Mafia's history. Indeed, Aniello Dellacroce's influence played a significant role in shaping John Gotti's rise within the Mafia. After Dellacroce's death, Gotti and Ruggiero wasted no time in taking action against Paul Castellano. They orchestrated Castellano's assassination outside a Manhattan restaurant, allowing Gotti to seize complete control of the Gambino family. Under Gotti's rule, the Gambino family saw both great success and extreme violence. Gotti operated with a certain old-school charm and demeanor that set him apart from many modern organized crime figures. This demeanor, along with his loyalty to Dellacroce's teachings and principles, made him appear as if he belonged to another era of the Mafia. Nonetheless, Gotti's reign reached a conclusion in 1992 when he was sentenced on different charges, including murder and racketeering. He was condemned to life in jail and died a couple of years after the fact because of malignant growth. With Gotti's conviction and Dellacroce's death, it seemed as though the era of the Mafia, characterized by the old traditions and loyalties, had finally drawn to a close. The landscape of organized crime in the modern world continued to evolve, and the legacy of figures like Dellacroce and Gotti left a lasting impact on the history of the Mafia. Thanks for watching. If you like this story as much as we did, please like it and subscribe to our channel for more riveting tales from history's dark side. Stay tuned until next time.